Hey there, PMP. I have a very interesting, very intricate game against SexyMilotic here for you today. Looking at his team in the team preview, I decided I'm going to try and kill every single one of his Pokemon before the game is over. So, let's see how we go about doing that. I wasn't really sure what he wanted to lead with, and when I'm not sure what somebody else is going to lead with, I just lead with Rotom because I can Volt Switch out, I can burn stuff, and he's very, very good to lead with in general. So, I see a Zapdos. It's going to be faster than my Breloom, so I can't put it to sleep. It's probably going to have Heat Wave, so I can't paralyze it with Ferrothorn. So I decide, if he wants to sub-roost, then I can just get a burn on him and just get some residual damage. It's the best I'm going to get. I notice I'm faster, so he's probably not max speed, or he's definitely not max speed, so he's probably a bulkier set, and looking at that Volt Switch, it's probably a specially defensive set. So I'm going to switch out to my Ferrothorn to take another T-Bolt, because that one kind of hurt. I didn't really like taking that. And he's unfortunately going to get a Parahax on me. So I'm hoping that he'll expect Protect to come in to scout for Heat Wave. I'm just going to set up my rocks. And I'm hoping maybe he'll want to roost, maybe he'll want to switch out. And he does in fact roost, trying to get the leg up on me protecting. And I'm going to get off a sneaky little Stealth Rock here. So now, however, I am absolutely expecting Heat Wave to come into play. So who do I want to go to? I could go to Terrakion and scare it with Stone Edge. But I also don't want to get burned. So I decide in the end just to go to Crobat. Maybe get a taunt on him, prevent him from roosting, get a Confuse Ray on him just to confuse it, that's good. And luckily he misses Heat Wave, which is going to let me live a T-Bolt. I think I should be able to live a super effective move from a Zapdos at least. I get a Confuse Ray off on it, and I'm hoping he'll hit himself, praying he'll hit himself, and he doesn't. He hits me with T-Bolt, and if Crobat dies, I can still go to Terrakion. That gives me a free switch into him, but Crobat decides it wants to live, which is... hey, that's good. That's why he's got max HP and not some max attack or something. So, I could either sit in here and roost and play the heal or status game, whichever happens first. This guy doesn't have U-turn because, I have one Volt Switcher. I don't need another U-turner. That's stupid. So I just decide, you know what? I may as well roost. Maybe he'll hit himself. I can get up to better HP, and in comes a Starmie. So this thing, it could have Psyshock, it could have Ice Beam. Either of those I don't really want to take, and Ferrothorn completely walls entirely. So I'm going to go to that. He might have also wanted to Rapid Spin, and I could come in here instead of my rocks again. Who knows? But now he's threatened out by Power Whip. I know he's going to switch, so this is the prime opportunity to go for a Thunder Wave. If he wants to switch, bring in Zapdos again, fine. I'll just go back to something. I'll sack Crobat. I don't really care because I don't really need it that much. Unfortunately, I got paralyzed, and as in comes a Bronzong, and I've got to think, how the hell am I going to kill this thing? My only fire move is HP Fire on Rotom, and it's meant to handle Ferrothorns or Fortresses or something, and it's not really meant to handle only ×2 weeks. He gets up his own rocks, which there was nothing I could do about. I would have liked to taunt it away, but Crobat wasn't in, so there was nothing I could really do there. I decided in the end, I could either put it to sleep, but I think I'd rather just get the residual damage on it, because Breloom isn't going to be able to handle it anyway with Mach Punch. So I decide, may as well get as much damage on as I can. It puts it on a clock because it can't heal. And he decides to go for Toxic on my Rotom, which I guess that works. I guess that's okay. I would have rather he Gyro Ball, but I don't really have that choice. In comes Gastrodon, predicting Hydro Pump very nicely on his part. And I give him Storm Drain. I don't notice lefties here, so I'm assuming this thing is Specs, and that is very scary. It's Specs, and it's got a Storm Drain boost, so... I've really got to watch out for this thing. I'm going to go to Ferrothorn, hoping he'll go for Surf, which he does, and it still trucks me in the face. That does way more than it should have, because this is a mostly specially defensive Ferrothorn. But regardless, I still scare him out with Power Whip, which I'm actually going to go for, just to keep him honest, Just tell him, hey, I'm not fucking around. I want that thing out of here. And I hit the Zapdos. It does quite a decent chunk, to be honest. I think it did like more than Rotom's Volt Switch did, so that confirms this thing is absolutely specially defensive. And I'm afraid of Heat Wave again. I could stay in and go for a Power Whip because it might actually do a lot if he wants to roost, but I thought, there's still a chance of getting Parahax. That's not really cool. I figure if he wants to T-Bolt, Heat Wave, or roost, then I'm probably going to be okay. Unless he gets a 10% burn or Parahax, then I should be fine. And he winds up roosting anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. I could go for close combat expecting something else to come in, like Bronzong, but I decide, again, just keep him honest. I want Zapdos out of here. If it switches, it still has to take rocks coming back in, so I may as well go for a Stone Edge. I actually wind up missing as Bronzong comes in, which, that's honestly fine. If I'm going to miss once, I'd rather it miss on a resisted hit on a guy who's going to die at some point anyway. So, obviously, Gyro Ball wants to come into play at some point probably. Even though he's burned, it's still going to do a lot, so I go to Ferrothorn just to get some Iron Barbs on it, get some burn on it, and it's slowly being whittled down. I could have gone to Rotom Wash as well, but I decided getting Iron Barbs damage on there would be better, and Ferrothorn can, you know, paralyze stuff rather than getting burned. So that's what I'm going to go for this turn. I'm going to go for a T-Wave, unless he went to Zapdos, which he probably wouldn't do this turn. Like, it's going to be the right play, it's going to hit something, and I get Parahax. It would have been nice to get a T-Wave on this Haxorus in case it's Scarf, which it might be. I honestly don't know, but I got a Fear Fighting. He's not going to go for Dragon against a Ferrothorn, and I just go to Crobat, take that Fighting hit very, very nicely. That's why Crobat is on this team. It can ×4 resist Fighting, and I have, like, no other Fighting resists. So I don't know if he's Choice, because I think that a Dragon move after that would have finished me off. I just went for Roost just on the off chance I was faster, or if he wanted to say in its superpower again. Maybe he was afraid of Brave Bird, maybe he was afraid of a lot of things, but I got my Roost up, and Crobat is in good order again. So Zapdos is staring at me again. T-Bolt is going to kill me this time if he wants to go for it. If he gets the same damage as last time, that is. So I really want to taunt this thing just to confirm that it dies. But I decided, you know what? If I taunt him and he attacks, that's not really ideal. So I'm going to go for Confuse Ray just to give myself at least a 50% chance of nothing happening, gain a little bit more lefties, or Black Sludge, I guess. And now I can taunt him to prevent Roost, or I could go for Brave Bird and try to finish it off from where it is. I don't quite get it. Not a big deal. If he hits himself, he'll go down, but he doesn't. He breaks through this time, which is fine. Like, that's fair. It's 1 out of 2. And T-Bolt is going to take out my Crobat, except it doesn't. He gets min damage, doesn't quite take me out, and he's going to be finished off to burn. So that worked out about as well as it could have, to be brutally honest. I think with the damage he rolled that turn, I would have been fine without the extra turn of recovery regardless, but that's, you know, it's still nice to have. Ink was a Landorus, and I expected to be faster than this thing, and I expected him to go for Earth Power, predicting my Roost. Instead, he wants to be Scarfed and U-turn and not kill me. But because I thought he was expecting Roost, I went for Brave Bird, just try and get as much damage off as I could before I went down. I wound up living U-turn because I resisted ×4, and I get a nice big hit off on the Starmie, which is actually kind of nice. So it gives me a free turn to go into Ferrothorn as well. I know he's probably not going to have anything to hit me with. I can Power Whip him away, and that's going to be fine and dandy. However, I decided to go for Leech Seed because I decided I want a little bit more recovery in case Haxorus wants to come in case I have to live a superpower at some point to get a T-Wave off on it. I don't know, I'm just trying to set myself up for later. Landorus comes back in, and I know I can live a Focus Blast. That's going to be no problem. So I'm just going to go for a Power Whip, try and get as much damage off on this thing as I can, and I actually almost take it out. Like, this is about half, so, you know, Ferrothorn is just a monster. So, but because I had to take Focus Blast, that means I'm not going to be able to take a superpower later. I don't even finish this thing off, and now something's got to die. Focus Blast could potentially miss, or I could go to Dragonite and resist it, but I decided, you know, I probably won't need this guy anymore since this physical wall is already burned, and it's going to go down to residual at some point. After that dies, I decide to go to Breloom just to finish it off. It's the only thing I got that's faster than it that's not named Terrakion, and I couldn't go to Terrakion because if I go for close combat, he just goes to Starmie. If I go for X-Scissor, he's got a lot of options to deal with that, so Breloom was just the best thing to bring in that case. And now I gotta be afraid of Psyshock. It's gonna take me out, I don't care. So I'm gonna go to Ferrothorn. I thought he'd honestly predict this and go somewhere else, but he doesn't, so that's going to give my Ferrothorn a free turn because the Starmie is not going to be able to kill me. I don't care what it has. It's not going to be able to finish my Ferrothorn off unless it's got like Hidden Power Fire, which would be smart, but it's also really rare, so I'm not really expecting it. I'm going to go for T-Wave. Hope I get it. Hope I hit this Haxorus this time because, you know, that'd be sweet. And I get it. That's awesome. So now my Dragonite beats it one-on-one, like, no doubt about it. So I'm not really sure if he wants to go for Fighting or go for Dragon, predicting my Dragonite to come in. I decide, you know, if he wants to go for leaving Ferrothorn in to die was just the best play. The only thing I really needed it still for was his Gastrodon, but if that thing wants to be max HP, then Breloom's going to outspeed it and beat it with Bullet Seed one-on-one, so I really just didn't need Ferrothorn anymore. I figured him being -1 due to Superpower and Paralyzed, this is a good opportunity to bring in Dragonite and try to get a little mini D-Night sweep going on. So I set up my first DD as he brings in Bronzong and Crap. This thing's going to be Steel type, you know, it is, obviously, and you know, I'm not going to be able to kill it from where it is, definitely. I want to set up +3 just to guarantee that the game will be over, because at that point I should be able to take out his Gastrodon, but I'm also afraid of HP Ice, so I have to Roost, remove my Flying type, get up to Multiscale, and it's not going to do anything at that point. I just want to see if he has it, and he does. So I also know he has Toxic kicking around, so I've got to get this Rape Train going as soon as I possibly can. I know he's probably going to Toxic this turn, because he knows that that's not going to, like, it's barely going to be a 2-hit KO after, you know, he starts dealing regular damage with it. So I set up my second DD, and I'm thinking, you know, after burn damage this turn, I might be able to kill it from where it's at. This Dragonite is very bulky. I just didn't want him to survive and get an HP Ice off, and take me down to a point where maybe Gastrodon would kill me. But I completely forgot Gastrodon with Specs, and, you know, it was going to kill me regardless. So I got a little bit hasty, went for Declaw. I absolutely should have Dragon Ace there, and then the game would have absolutely been over. I was just afraid of taking HP Ice, which I wound up taking anyway because I don't kill it. Burn damage is going to kill it after this turn, but I really should have set up that third DD. So after Burn takes it out, he's going to go to Gastrodon, and like he's got to go for Ice Beam. I'm going to be faster and get a +2 Declaw off on it, but like I don't know if it's going to kill. +3 would definitely kill, but you know, +2, it's kind of iffy. It really depends on how much HP investment he has, if any at all. And that's just what I got to go for. I got to hope that I can kill it. Even if I don't, I still think I've got the upper hand, because once I get a hit off on his Haxorus, you know, I think I just sweep with Terrakion with X-Scissor. So that's what I'm going to go with. That's my plan at this point. So I have to go to Breloom first. I'd figured Sporing is the only play I really have. Even if he wants to go to Haxorus, I'm going to get a Mach Punch off on it. His Starmie, it's half dead, so it's not going to live with an X-Scissor. Once this thing takes a Mach Punch, it's not going to live an X-Scissor, and his Gastrodon is almost dead, so it's not going to live one. So I'm thinking this is pretty much a good game. He still thinks he's got a chance, because after his Haxorus lives this and outrages me, he's still got 3 to my 1, but he's also thinking I have to lock myself into close combat or Stone Edge, and maybe he could get a miss and take me out with something. But then I reveal X-Scissor, and that officially ends the game. It's going to be able to finish off everything he's got left. I'm faster than everything, and unless his Starmie's lefties, so it's not going to be faster than me. So that was a great game, Sexy. You know, ton of fun. You know, very good, very nice. And you know, thank you guys for watching. Come check out my channel. I'm doing a whole huge like 30-game series with this team. So if you like big series, then this is about as big as they get. So thank you all for watching once again, and I will see you next time.